Good day, everyone. Today, for this second international conference on education, technology, business, and social science (ETBSS2020), I would like to give a presentation for our paper on analysis of types of code switching among community college students in Sabah, Malaysia. The author of this paper is Johan Severinus Tati, myself, Luke Kenny Doring, and also Associate Professor Dr. Suhaga Narasuman. Both Mr. Johan and Associate Professor Suhaga is from UiTM and myself is from College Community Kuching. So this paper is aimed to describe the occurrence of code switching in spoken language of community college students in Sabah, Malaysia, and it is specifically to investigate the types of code switching production in multilingual ESL classroom setting. So for all of these respondents for this study is from the ethnic groups of Sabah such as Kadazan, Dusun, Bajau, Murut, Rungus, and Lundayeh. So I will go into my presentation to cover on the research background, literature review, research methodology, result and discussions, and finally the conclusions. So in this study, we aim to get a qualitative design and data obtained from the interview of the students. So before I go further in my analysis of a code switching among the community college students, let us look at the research background of this study. So to give everyone a background on this research, we look for a state where it has community with multilingual or live in a multilingual environment, and Sabah is our choice because of its diverse ethnicity or diverse cultures with other different about 32 ethnic groups, mainly the Dusun, Kadazan, Murut, Rungus, Bajau, other than Malay, Indian, and Chinese. Also, at the same time, in Sabah, it has other immigrants like from the Philippines and also Indonesia. So it is very common for people in Sabah to speak in other languages other than their mother tongue also, and also national language, that is Bahasa Malaysia. So with this multilingual environment, we would like to look at the possibility of code switching in this language spoken among the community, specifically the community college students in Sabah. So the code switching phenomenon commonly occur among communities where they have acquired more than one language or dialect in their communications. So the phenomenon of code switching among ethnic groups in Malaysia is very well known, and many research has been done in Malaysia or even in abroad, but not much has been known or has been studied on the phenomenon of code switching with regards to community college students in Sabah, where English is regarded as a second or foreign language. So in this study, the question that we like to answer is that, or we like to ask is, do community college students code switch in an ESL classroom? So through this question, we aim to investigate the types of code switching in a multilingual ESL classroom setting, specifically in Sabah. So at least with this objective, we will have a significant understanding of code switching phenomenon, especially the types of code switching production during the interaction in a multilingual ESL classroom. Literature review. Code switching phenomenon is observed as shifting from one code to another language code during interaction, which commonly used by multilingual people. Bajau 2006. So many researchers have given varieties of definition for code switching, as defined by Gumpus 1992. Code switching is the juxtaposition of two grammatical systems or subsystems. Linguists divided code switching into three types of category in terms of grammatical perspectives. Poplack 1980, Romain 1995, and Appeal Mushkin 2006. The three types of code switching are inter-sentential switching, intra-sentential switching, and text switching. So what is an inter-sentential code switching? It is described as a switch of language at sentence boundary or between the sentence, and it occurs in one sentence or part of a sentence in a language and the other following parts in another language. Poplack 1980, Romain 1985. So in other words, if you will use this in a sentence like I quit my job since last month. Dia tidak bagi tahu kau. So dia tidak bagi tahu kau means he did not tell you. The sentence should be read I quit my job since last month. So didn't he tell you? The second sentence uses Malay while the former is in English. Intra-sentential code switching refers to the switch from one language to another in a sentence that involves the syntactic units of words, phrases, and clauses. Poplack 1980, Apple and Moshikin 2006. So in a sentence of this intra-sentential code switching is the flowers are so voluminous here. Voluminous means beautiful in English. The sentence should be the flowers are so beautiful here. A Kadazan Dusun word is embedded in a sentence. Next one, text switching. Text switching involves the interjections, fillers, text, and idiomatic expressions which can be produced in second language and require minimal knowledge of grammar of that language. So in a sentence of text switching is you can come to my house anytime, Bah. Bah is particle widely used in among Sabahan in their colloquial speech. The tag Bah is always used in informal conversation context and normally occur in a clause final position in a sentence. In Sabah, the code switch phenomenon is commonly occurring in daily communications. It is because most of the Sabah people acquire at least two languages, their native language and also the Sabah Malay dialect. Research methodology. So the study employed a qualitative research design by employing the interview method to obtain the data. And the research instrument, we use interview and contain in the first section, it contain the demographic data. And in the second section, the interview question contain questions to get the understanding in English language, and we allow the participants to use any languages that they wanted in expressing their ideas. So a total of 10 community college students were selected using non-probability sampling, where all of them are from various locations throughout Sabah. So in the data analysis, the verbal aspects of the interviews with the respondent, the verbal aspect of the interview with the respondents were transcribed. Results and discussions. So to get the three types of code switching, we interviewed 10 respondents and we found out that all of these three code switching, inter-sentential switching, intra-sentential switching, and text switching were present in their dialogue. Like here, the first respondent says, Malay and English sajalah, listening skill lah gitu, change pergi, gitulah always, basic begitu, efektif juga. And the second respondent says, belajar pelan-pelan lah saya bercakap ni in English sebab it's easy to speak. And respondent 3 says, mungkin tidak dapat explain, tidak pandai translate, language tu macam tu lah. So as we can see, inter-sentential code switching uses parts of the sentence in another language and another part in a different language. Intra-sentential switching were also present in the dialogue or in the speech of the respondents, and I took here respondent 6, 7 and 8 as our discussion, where respondent 6 says, ada jugalah cousin saya speak English sebab memang dari kecil speak English. Sabah Malay tapi sometimes saya mix juga dengan English. English class supposed to be English lah kan, tapi mix. Dia punya improvement kah? Bagi saya, dia bagi improvement lah. Apa words in ni dalam English, begitu then speak again lah. Respondent 7, di kelas tidak efektif guna code switch. Respondent 8, English class saya campur English with bahasa Malaysia. So intra-sentential is the switch from one language to another in a sentence that involve syntactic units of words, phrases or clauses. So it is present among the students interviewed in this research. So it is occurred in their dialogue of intra-sentential switching. Next one, text switching. So text switching is the use of fillers like lah, bah in a dialogue. So respondent 4 says, sometimes ada yang full mau cakap tu mix lah. Kalau yang pendek mau cakap full in English lah. Respondent 5, full in English kalau basic. Kalau nak faham juga simple ayat. Respondent 9 says, terpaksa translate pergi Melayu. So text switching involves insertion of tag or exclamation in a language in a sentence. So it involves interjections, filler text and idiomatic expressions which can be produced in a second language and requires minimal language of grammar of that language, and it is presented in our interview with the participants in this study. So what we found in this study is that intra-sentential code switching is produced more than the inter-sentential code switching for community college students. There were Sabah Malay dialect words or English words inserted in the middle of a sentence in a occurrence. In fact, intra-sentential code switching requires students to be balanced speaker to make greater use of it. So we also found out that the occurrence of these types of code switching are influenced by other social factors such as students' proficiency, the setting where they are talking in, and the topic of conversation. A proficient learner produces minimal code switching since he or she can utter full sentence in a language, that is in English. The word lah is commonly used among the community college students, and it becomes a habit to code switch lah as the result of incompetence in their English language. So that's all for our presentation on the analysis of code switching among community college students in Sabah. Thank you.